When I went to UK, I told Emily not to wait for me. I thought she wouldn't be happy waiting for me, especially since I didn't know when I could come back. Emily stood by me and said, "I wanted to go with you, Michael, but I couldn't leave my sick mother behind. She passed away, but I had no way to follow you. I always believed we would meet again someday, and before I knew it, here we are. So that's how it was." Emily had been waiting for me all this time. I held Emily tightly in my arms. "My name is Michael. I'm turning 39 this year. I've finished my overseas assignment and returned to the headquarters. The headquarters is where I worked tirelessly when I was young. I felt nostalgic about the familiar workplace. After 12 years, there are few employees I know anymore. It's only natural when you think about it. Time moves on. I gave a brief introduction at the morning meeting on my first day back. It felt a bit embarrassing to introduce myself again. I was welcomed with applause. I was immediately called upon for work. It was about a new client we had signed a contract with. They wanted to discuss the contract details. As a manager, I also attended the consultation about the contract. I appreciated the subordinate who secured the contract and wanted to support their discussion. I understood that a manager's role is to oversee the employee's work, appreciate their efforts, and sometimes offer support. It was different from just securing contracts. In that sense, I felt a fresh sense of purpose. When I was assigned overseas, I was a regular employee, but I returned to the headquarters as a manager. The sales expertise I honed abroad should be useful in my managerial role. I aim to advance step by step as a manager while bringing out the best in the younger staff. My boss, David, who sits next to me, is much younger than I am. He was promoted to his current position at a young age. I was surprised he became a director at his age. He must have achieved a lot to earn his position. Suddenly, David called me while I was dealing with the client at the meeting room. What could it be about? I left my subordinate to handle things. It must be urgent, I thought. When I got back to the office, David was sitting at his desk, waiting for me. "Sorry for calling you suddenly. I need a favor." "Sure, what can I do for you?" "It's not a big deal, really. David should understand that I was busy dealing with the client. I believe that dealing with clients should be done with utmost sincerity and priority. There must be a pressing reason he interrupted me." "David, please make it quick." "Why?" "I called you because I need to ask you something urgently." I was surprised by David's unexpected response. Does he understand that the client is waiting? A new client we signed a contract with is here to discuss the details. I can't keep them waiting. I just stepped out for a moment. That can be left to the person who secured the contract, right? That's not your job. Yes, we are delving into the contract details and progressing with the discussion. As the person in charge, my input is necessary. So, what is it you need, David? David cleared his throat before speaking. What? Is it something hard to tell me? Actually, there's a contract we want to secure today. I need you to come with me. Sorry for the sudden notice, but please get ready quickly. Huh? You're securing a contract, David? This sounded strange. That's not David's job. And why would I need to accompany him? David said it wasn't a big deal. But if it's about a contract, isn't it a big deal? David's role is company management. He handles administration and doesn't directly involve himself in making contracts. Is he involving me because it's a contract? This isn't something David should be dealing with directly. Why are you involved in this contract, David? Why can't I be involved in a contract? That's not your concern, is it? I couldn't understand what David was saying. I felt I had no choice but to comply. When do we leave? Right now. Get ready. David, that's impossible. I have work to do. David suddenly scowled. Are you defying your superior? A superior's orders are absolute. I was shocked. I can't believe there's a boss who would say something like that. Who ignores their subordinates' work like that? This is unreasonable. I reluctantly decided to leave the client dealings to my subordinate. All right, David. I'll accompany you immediately. Can you drive? Out of the blue, what's he talking about now? Does he want me to drive us there? Yes, I can drive. That's great. We'll take the company car. Just as I thought. I didn't mind. I got the company car ready and waited for David. I felt bewildered. David climbed into the car nonchalantly. Take us here. This is where our potential client is. David handed me a note. It had the name T Corp on it. T Corp? I visited them before. I didn't mention this to David. So I knew the way well. I drove without getting lost. While driving, David said something odd. When we get to T Corp, stay in the car. What? I thought I was going to join the meeting? No, that's not necessary. I'll handle the contract alone. Don't worry about it. Then why am I even accompanying you? I didn't understand at all. If I wait in the car, I'll end up just being a chauffeur. Are you sure that's okay? I want to be of help to you, David. Just do as I say. This is necessary for the contract. Me waiting in the car is necessary for the contract? I was even more confused. David continued with his strange explanation. T Corp wants to sign the contract, but she is refusing. She? Yes. If we can win her over, the contract is ours. That's why I brought you. Wait, so you needed me in the car for this contract? Exactly. You and the car are tools to impress her. Even after treating her to her favorite diner, she didn't agree. Today, I'll show her authority. Diner? That phrase made me realize something. David, by any chance, is this woman named Emily? David, sitting in the passenger seat, widened his eyes and was at a loss for words. How do you know her name? I was just as surprised by his response. Could it really be? So it was Emily. We arrived at T Corp's parking lot and I stopped the car. I took out my business card from my bag and handed it to David. David, please give this to her. The contract will go through. What do you mean? Just trust me and give this to her before you start talking. Good luck. With that, I sent David off. A little while later, David came back. He was with a woman. It was indeed Emily. She hadn't changed a bit. I greeted Emily in front of David. We got the contract. Just as you said, everything went smoothly after I handed her your card. Then, turning to Emily with a smirk, he added, "Oh, he's just the driver. I arranged the car for you today. Since I got the contract, you remember our deal, right?" Emily nodded yes and responded to David. "Yes, I understand. I'll go out with you. But today, let's just have a drive with the driver included." Fine. Just for today. A drive? This is supposed to be work, isn't it? Is David planning to spend the day on a drive? Today, we'll just have a driving date. But next time, you know what I expect, right? A date? What's going on? I started to see David's ulterior motives. Just from that short conversation, I could understand the context behind the contract. And why Emily had been refusing. What puzzled me was why David chose me. Wouldn't it have made more sense to use a younger guy? While I was wondering about this, Emily casually asked David the same question. The driver looks older. Is he new to the company? Yes. I rose to this position at a young age, so I need to be able to boss around even older employees. When I said I'd get the contract today, this guy volunteered to come along. He's old, but he just joined the company and became a manager. So I thought I'd make him my sidekick today. So that's what he meant by showing authority. It oddly made sense. He just wanted to impress Emily. He doesn't even realize I've returned to the headquarters. He thinks I'm just some clueless old guy, huh? What kind of company promotes someone to manager based on age alone? You become a manager because you've earned it, right? David tried to use a drive date to secure the contract. But Emily isn't that kind of shallow woman. She agreed to the contract and the drive after seeing my business card. I was touched by Emily's feelings. Both Emily and I spent that day on David's drive date without revealing our identities. After politely dropping David off at his house, I finally got to be alone with Emily. Michael, it's been 12 years since you left. Has it really been that long? How have you been? When did you come back? Just recently. Today was my first day back at work. I never expected to see you on my first day. Really? It must have been fate that brought us together again. Emily smiled. She seemed genuinely happy to see me. Emily was my beloved girlfriend. We talked about marriage when we both became working adults. When the overseas assignment came up, I wanted to take Emily with me. Of course, I intended to marry her. But Emily turned down my proposal. So, I went to the UK alone. I told Emily I didn't know when I'd be back. That's why I told her not to wait for me. It wasn't how I really felt. I'll wait for you, Emily said and saw me off at the airport. It's been 12 years. Emily must be married by now. I was afraid to find out the truth. So, what do you do at your current company? Are you in a high position? I'm a director, but it's nothing special. So, were you negotiating this contract as a director? Emily chuckled. Our company is small. Major contracts involve the directors. The contract with your company was a big goal for us. I was put in charge. But for some reason, David was the representative on your side. At first, the negotiations went smoothly. But then he started whispering things in my ear. Whispering? I didn't need to hear the details to understand. From today's events, I got a good idea about David. So the negotiations stalled? David made our relationship a condition for the contract. I got scared and started recording his conversations. Emily, that was smart. That recording is your weapon. Let me hear it. Emily played the recording of David's voice for me. It was clear he wasn't talking about business. Every time I refused, he put the deal on hold. He pressured me by saying it was a loss for my company. I see. David certainly has a silver tongue. And he's handsome. He's confident in himself. So, did you agree to David's terms to finalize the contract? Even though it turned out that way, I trusted you, Michael. I believed you would help me. I trusted you with the contract. I can trust you, right? That must have been a huge decision for Emily. I nodded yes and held her hand tightly. To be prepared for any situation, we exchanged email addresses and phone numbers. I told Emily to contact me anytime she needed help, emphasizing it repeatedly. The next day, David was in an unusually good mood. He came to me with a big smile and patted me on the shoulder. Thanks to you, we got the contract. I owe you one. Let's keep this going. Keep it going? Is he asking me to set up dates with Emily? No way. We got the contract, so she's mine now. I can do whatever I want. Do whatever you want? What are you planning to do? David laughed mockingly. Can I say that in the office? It's exactly what you're thinking. I realized I had to fight David and save Emily. A few days later in the evening, I received a sudden message from Emily. It's happening already. David contacted me. I immediately stepped out of the office and called Emily. She answered right away. What did he say? He wants to have dinner tonight. He seems to have already made a reservation. Tonight? Did you make plans with him? Of course not. It's so sudden, right? David seems completely set on this. Set on what? He plans to have dinner and then take you to a hotel. What? Did he say that? He said he'd leave it to my imagination and laughed. Michael, what should I do? Don't worry, leave it to me. I'll make sure David changes his mind. Go straight home today. But don't worry about anything else. It'll be fine. After reassuring Emily and ending the call, I headed straight to David's desk. David, I need to talk to you. What is it? I'm busy today. Can we talk another day? No, it has to be today. What do you mean? David, I set aside my work to accompany you on your date. Now it's your turn to do the same for me. What are you talking about? Working hours are over. I don't have to spend time with a subordinate after hours. Does that include the contract with T Corp? David flinched at that moment. Was he feeling guilty? The contract with T Corp has nothing to do with you. You have no right to interfere. Are you sure? Did you forget? Forget what? That the contract was sealed because I showed my business card. So what? It means it wasn't your doing. With my words, David scowled. What a cheeky thing to say for a manager. First of all, you don't even know the details of the contract, do you? His pride must have been deeply wounded. It was a fact that my business card made an impact. Doesn't that seem strange to you? But David cut me off. None of that matters. Results are everything. Securing the contract is what counts. The deal with T Corp is done. As long as she agrees to my terms. That's all that matters. David's true intentions became clear. His goal wasn't the contract, it was Emily. He just wanted to possess her. He was using the negotiation and his job to achieve that. Is she that attractive to you? That's none of your business, is it? I played a part too, and it seems you're quite taken with her. True, I used your help. You found her beautiful too, didn't you? Well, yes. See? Such a beauty is rare. When she came to our office, I decided to take charge directly. I wanted to make her mine using the contract as leverage. Do you always use contracts to achieve your personal goals? David hesitated for a moment at my question. Yes. Contracts are about connecting with people. Remember that. Success, money, women, all depend on how you do it. Is that really how it works? I wondered what kind of experiences David had to reach this point. It was beyond my imagination. And now, Emily was his target. Well, I have things to do. David began gathering his things. He was probably heading straight to the restaurant. David, if she refuses your advances, what will happen to the contract? She won't refuse. Accepting my advances means she's agreed. If she refuses, the contract will be nullified. She knows that. Isn't nullifying the contract a risk for us either? David started laughing. A contract with a small company like that? It's no risk to us. That contract doesn't even matter. I just wanted her. Contracts can have personal motives too. David said this nonchalantly. He picked up his bag and prepared to leave. Wait a minute. What now? I told you I'm busy. Are you going to the restaurant? David seemed taken aback. His eyes widened. How do you know that? I had to explain to this clueless David. Everything about you is transparent to me. Emily and I have a close relationship. What do you mean? Don't you get it yet? Emily used to date me. David looked dumbfounded. He probably couldn't grasp the situation. I know you invited Emily tonight. And that's not all. You know about everything? Yes. I know all about how you've handled this contract. It's despicable. Did you think I was just a clueless old guy who wouldn't care about anything you did? I will fight you. I will protect Emily from you. Fight me? What can you, of all people, do? You didn't notice, but Emily recorded your conversations during the negotiations. At first, you whispered, but as your comments became bolder, she started recording. What was supposed to be a business discussion turned into you trying to seduce her. Did you listen to it? And there are times when you threatened Emily too. You even said you would destroy her company if she didn't comply. Does that ring a bell? We have solid evidence. I'll report this internally. Report it internally? Yes. You, of all people, should understand the consequences of that, given your ambitions. David froze. He probably had no words to respond with. David, Emily went home today. After hearing what you planned, I sent her home. So, what will you do? Cancel the contract? It's up to you. David tried to compose himself, a smirk forming on his lips. Interesting. Go ahead and try. I'll show you the consequences of defying your superior. Don't regret it later. But his shoulders were shaking. His words were empty, devoid of power. David, it's better if you stop now. Your fate is in my hands. If you give up on Emily and don't cancel the contract, I'll overlook this incident. I promise. But if you try anything funny again, I'll report you immediately. Got it? David listened to my words, then left without saying anything. Since then, David stopped contacting Emily. Emily's company strengthened its ties with ours, and their performance improved significantly. Emily's achievements were recognized, and she gained a lot of trust and respect. I remained cautious of David. Then one day, I received an unusual directive from him. My department was given a quota. Secure 30 contracts per month. That's one contract a day on average. It was an impossible target. Securing a contract is no easy task. David must know that from experience. David thought about it. This was his revenge against me. I couldn't burden my subordinates with this. I didn't relay the directive to my team. Instead, I encouraged them to keep up their usual pace. I listed potential companies for contracts. Reaching 30 contracts was unrealistic. David planned to use this to affect my performance review. Demotion or dismissal could be on the horizon. Maybe even a transfer for retraining. This was David's way of wielding power. It wasn't just about spite. I didn't intend to report David for this. It didn't involve Emily. I would report him only to protect Emily. This was a challenge I had to face alone. As a subordinate, I had to try to fulfill even unreasonable tasks. I pondered every day. There seemed to be no solution. Sleepless nights followed. What could I do without relying on my team? Then, a peculiar idea struck me. I didn't know if it would work. But I was convinced it was a solution only I could achieve. From that day, I started negotiating persistently with the London branch, explaining the situation. My long-standing connections paid off. I got special permission to participate in local work. I made a list of companies with local needs and started calling them one by one using my connections. I couldn't burden the branch. I specifically chose companies that wanted a connection with the headquarters. I managed to gather a decent number. At that point, I decided to go back to the UK. I told Emily about it. I'm going back to the UK again. Emily couldn't hide her surprise. Michael, you just got back. It's okay. I'll be back soon. Don't worry, we'll see each other again soon. Really? Promise me. I'll be waiting for you, Michael. I gratefully accepted her words at that moment. I knew I'd see her face again once I returned to the US. That alone was enough for me. It gave me more motivation for the trip. I'd do what I needed to and come back safe. For Emily too. After arriving in the UK, I stayed in a hotel while visiting the companies I had negotiated with over the phone. Since I had already progressed with the discussions over the phone, I just needed to finalize the deals in person. My goal was 3 companies a day. I traveled from morning till night. The UK is big. It's big enough to travel countrywide. After a 2-week stay, I managed to visit all the planned companies. I secured contracts with all of them. Then I safely returned to the US. Emily was there to welcome me at the airport lobby. Welcome back, Michael. Did you manage to complete your work? Yeah, thanks to you. Sorry to keep you waiting, Emily. Michael, you look worn out. Emily said I looked thinner. Apparently, I had dark circles under my eyes too. I'm fine. I'm healthy. Will you be able to relax now? No, the work isn't over yet. The important part starts now. Just a bit more to go. I see. I can't do much, but I believe in you. Do your best, Michael. With a heavy heart, I left Emily waving behind me and headed straight to the office. David was waiting for me at the office. I had informed the company about my return. Well done. So, how did it go? After spending 2 weeks, did you achieve anything? Thank you for the time. David, the quota was 30 contracts, right? Yes. Your subordinates must feel sorry for you, running around for your sake. No, that wasn't necessary. What do you mean? Have you given up? David must have thought it was impossible from the start. I could tell from his tone. But you're a manager, aren't you? You can't afford to give up. The responsibility of the department isn't just on you. It affects your subordinates too. Do you understand that? You shouldn't rush to conclusions. Oh, but it's already been a month, hasn't it? Looks like it's impossible now. David looked at me with a pitiful smile, almost ready to laugh. David, do you know why a new face, came to this workplace this year? Your personal history doesn't interest me. David said with a dismissive laugh. Did he think I was just flailing? I joined this company right after college. During my tenure at the headquarters, I was assigned to work overseas. For 12 years, I was in the UK. And now I've returned as a manager. So what? What does that have to do with your current trip? I realized David was quite dense. He should have figured out where I had gone. My 12 years were invaluable. They weren't wasted at all. What do you mean? My network in the UK proved to be very useful. I leveraged it effectively. You mentioned that contracts are about connections. I agree. But the difference is that my connections are based on trust. I worked with many people, supporting each other, and that saved me. Your connections are fleeting and opportunistic. They leave nothing behind. Such relationships are empty. Do you have any allies around you? David snorted and mocked me. The winners are those who can get the job done. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how it's done. People are tools to be used. There's no value in relationships outside of work. Anything that can't be reused is discarded. I suppose you plan to discard Emily after you had your way with her too. You sacrifice people for contracts and manipulate them through work. I don't want to work with someone who holds such values. David seemed delighted by my words. Oh. So you're quitting? What an irresponsible person, abandoning your job. David, I've met the quota. I handed David the list of all the companies I had secured contracts with in the UK. There are exactly 30 contracts here. With the contracts my team secured, we've exceeded the target. David looked at the list in disbelief. He seemed skeptical. If you doubt it, feel free to verify. All the contracts are signed. And with this, I am resigning from the company. Naturally, my reason for leaving will be questioned. I will simply state the truth. I cannot work under you, David. I won't mention your past actions. But I will clearly outline the unreasonable quota you imposed. I wonder what the bosses will think. I look forward to finding out. With that, I turned to leave. David called out to me in a panic. Wait. I understand. Let's resolve this amicably. Amicably? What do you mean? I met the quota, so this matter is settled. Don't say that. Please don't leave. Stay for my sake and the company's. David suddenly begged, even going as far as to bow. All right, David. But no more unreasonable directives. I said this and left the office. It was already dark outside. I contacted Emily and arranged to meet her at a park near her company. Emily finished her work and hurried over. She smiled happily when she saw me. Is your work finished? Can you relax now? Yes. It's all done. There's nothing to worry about anymore. The contracts are signed, and everything is going well. Everyone appreciates your help, Michael. Thank you. That's good to hear. Don't worry about David either. He hasn't contacted me since. Michael, what did you do to him? It doesn't matter. You're safe now. I was so worried you might leave again and not come back. I told you I'd come back, didn't I? Though maybe it would have been better if I hadn't. I said something I didn't truly feel. Even though I returned, I knew I couldn't be with Emily. That thought weighed heavily on me. I had looked forward to seeing Emily more than anything. Emily suddenly looked sad. Why? Why would you say that? I've been thinking about you constantly while I was away. I wanted to see your smiling face. But you always have to go home when the time comes. I'm left alone again. Coming home to an empty place is tough for me. It's something I can't help. Emily listened quietly to my words. Then she spoke softly to me. Michael, do you remember the words I always tell you when we part? Yes, I remember. You always say you're waiting for me. I'm still waiting now. Since our college days, nothing has changed for me. What do you mean? I can't imagine being with anyone other than you, Michael. So, I've been living alone all this time. What? Emily, you're not married? Emily shook her head. She wasn't just waiting for me to come back, she had been waiting for me all along. When I went to the UK, I told you not to wait for me. I thought you wouldn't be happy waiting for someone who didn't know when he'd return. Emily came closer to me. I wanted to go with you, but I couldn't leave my sick mother behind at that time. She passed away, but I had no way to follow you. I believed we would meet again someday, and before I knew it, here we are. So, Emily had been waiting for me. I hugged Emily tightly. A year later, we were happily married. We continued to nurture our love together. The company investigated the sudden surge of contracts I secured, which exposed David's arrogance. David was spared from being fired but was sent for retraining. He would never return to the headquarters. I was recognized for my achievements and took David's position. It was an exceptional promotion. Even though I had just returned to the headquarters as a manager, no one objected. I was praised for my incredible vitality. They said it was a miracle that I protected my subordinates and led them out of a difficult situation, despite the unreasonable directives. This recognition wasn't just for me. It was for everyone who supported me. And my greatest supporter was, of course, Emily. Thanks to her strength, I was able to achieve what I did. Together with Emily, I also became a director. We planned to support each other both at work and at home. I faced Emily again with renewed gratitude. Emily, I am truly blessed. My life has been a series of miracles, and being united with you is the greatest miracle of all. Thank you. It's all thanks to you. Michael, your life is a testament to your determination. That's why these miracles happened. I'm also happy to be with you. From now on, it's our life together. Emily was my excellent partner in both work and life. Our future was as bright as it could be.